The following segment is presented by Bremo Pharmacy.
Well, a lot goes into planning a vacation, especially if you're going overseas. But one thing that is often overlooked is travel vaccines. And here to tell us more about it and how you can be prepared is Jenny Helmke from Bremo Pharmacy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first things first, what should people come in and ask or just inquire about if they're going to an exotic country or maybe an underdeveloped country on vacation or some type of work trip this year?
Okay. If a patient's going to come in and go on a travel trip, we want to know exactly what they're doing. So we want to know their itinerary. We want to know what countries they'll be traveling through to make sure that they're meeting the requirements that they need to get into that country. Because some countries do require the yellow fever vaccine. And that is one vaccine that if you do not have proof of it, you will be held at the airport or at the country for 6 to 10 days before you're allowed into the country.
And I've heard of that. I've had a friend who traveled to South Africa and he stopped somewhere and they will hold you there on that layover if you don't have all of your correct paperwork.
Yes, so we want to make sure we know exactly what you're doing, where you're staying, what type of lodging you're going to be staying at to make sure you're fully protected, because it varies. Just because one person goes to one country, the next person may be doing some more exotic things that they need better protection in the area that they're going to be going and the activities that they're going to be doing.
Okay, now one thing that I thought was interesting I saw on your list was the MMR and polio vaccine, and I thought, isn't that something you get as a kid and it's not really prevalent in the U.S. anymore? How are people susceptible to that in other countries?
So you make a good point that a lot of these vaccines are childhood vaccines, and most children are getting their complete series of childhood vaccines. But as adults, we don't typically think that we need any more vaccines. But we do need boosters of these vaccines to make sure we're fully protected and our immunity is up to date. So if you're traveling to certain countries, we need to make sure that you're protected, because unfortunately in other countries these diseases are still prevalent, and we want to make sure you are not getting sick on your travels.
Well, a good way to remember that is a booster shot to boost your health,
yes,
right?
Yes, exactly.
Now you also recommend some over-the-counter things such as bug spray that contains DEET in it. Tell me a little bit about that, because even if you're going to a country which is known for its resorts and relaxation, if you travel off the resort, you could be susceptible to mosquitoes and all kinds of bugs, right?
And mosquitoes don't have any boundaries, so they're going to come in wherever they want, whenever they want to. So we always want to make sure patients know that it's not just about the vaccines, it's other safety precautions that they want to take. And that's why we will give them a take-home packet regarding bug sprays, over-the-counter medications, and it gives you a breakdown of exactly what you're looking for, which products you want to buy, as well as particular types of clothing that have bug spray built into them, because it will help protect you while you're wearing those clothing, but also help you protect you from the sun.
Yeah, and you also recommend Pepto-Bismol. They come in little travel bottles, and that's really good if you're exposed to drinking water on a trip or a tour that maybe your system isn't used to, right?
Yes, and that can happen. It's called traveler's diarrhea, and it makes you very sick, and Pepto-Bismol is a way that we can help treat the symptoms while you're there. So it's very good to have with you just in case you do become exposed to contaminated water. But we always want to make sure you follow up with your doctor once you get home as well.
Yeah, I think the fastest way to shut down fun on a trip is to mess up your digestive tract. Well, Jenny, thank you so much. And everyone who's watching, I want to encourage you to get online and check out BremoPharmacyRx.com. And you can also go into the pharmacy and get a traveler's vaccine packet.